want to have 1,000 people outside breaking down the door trying to enter your business, want to have the most enjoyable atmosphere and experience for your customers, want to have an amazing success launching, want to have your bank account full in the first month. Make sure you dig in, dive in, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Join, hit us up, do something, goddamn. Make a move, because we're here to help. The retail room.
Nice to be here.
My name is AJ. Our special guest here, Ron. We're so proud to announce the retail launch of Hollywood Beauty. We're actually here live right now in action. Right behind us is a 15,000 square foot retail store. 15,000.
Yeah.
Ron, I'd love for you to tell everyone what it is exactly that you do. And give us your little background.
Okay, my background, my life story.
Your life story.
Well, I guess my claim to fame in terms of business.
Yes.
Obviously, everybody has a lot of experiences. My claim to fame is co-founding a computer company, Wacom Technology.
Wow.
They have these drawing tablets for the computer. And when we started Wacom, every artist, creative people, they were still in the paper, canvas, and computer graphics was just coming into popularity, and they wanted to transfer to digital. And so we created the drawing tablet, which allowed them to transfer their skills to the computer. Company became very successful, went public, the IPO thing.
Congratulations.
Oh,
that's
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
That's my dream. To ring that bell. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I just want to ring it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I was with the company nearly 2 decades. I felt that I wanted to do something different. How many different sizes and iterations can you come out with?
Right.
So I left that company. And then I was a chief financial officer. My background is accounting and also finance and marketing.
That's a
and
good
strategy. Yeah. So was a CFO for a company for a few years. And then, one of the things, family is very important to me. And I always promised my wife that I would never sacrifice my family for the sake of my career. And as a CFO, having to travel all the time, I realized that's exactly what I was doing. And so after about 3 years, I said, that's it. I don't need the money. I want to be there. I have 4 daughters. And at that time, the oldest daughter was just graduating from high school. The youngest daughter was just going into high school. And, there's all, a father has all these
the fun stuff.
Oh, my God. So left that position. First time retired. I've been retired a couple of times. At least I thought I was. And then after that, I got into management consulting. And what I wanted to do there was take the things, the strategies, the frameworks, the way of thinking that larger companies have as part of their normal process, and bring that same way of thinking to smaller companies. And when I say small, I mean $3 to $20 million companies, right? Because the formula for success in whatever business you're in, there's a process of going about thinking about how to create that success. And I'll give you an example we're talking about Hollywood Beauty.
Right.
So you invited me to come here and take a look at the operations here because we're close friends, and looked at their old operation, looked at the new operation, and the idea that I had was $1 million weekend.
That has a ring to it right there.
Yeah. Now, He said, the owner said his dream was to do $1 million in sales in 1 month. And my thought was, why not in a weekend? And so you start with an assumption, $1 million weekend. And then you start thinking about, what would it take for that to happen? What would you need? Well, obviously you need more employees because he's tripled the size of his store, right? So you need more employees. And you need to finish the store, you need to merchandise the store, signage, etc. You need to have what we did was a soft launch. And the soft launch wasn't just open the doors and kind of practice being open. No, the soft launch was, we're going to invite all the influencers in the St. Louis area. All the YouTubers, the Instagrammers, the people that have a following. We're going to make a special event just for them. And we're going to literally roll out the red carpet and make it just about them. And let them see what Hollywood beauty is bringing to the St. Louis area. Because St. Louis isn't necessarily the wealthiest area of the country, right? And I was impressed that the owner wanted to bring a first class shopping experience to the community. It wasn't just, have a small building and cram it full of merchandise, but really it's about the experience. And he's pulled it off.
Absolutely.
When I walked in after the first time I saw it, and I came back a couple of days ago, the lighting is fantastic. The merchandise display is fantastic. He's trained the new hires how to serve a customer. And with social media marketing and ads, and we had, there's an LED sign outside the front door.
Oh my God.
And that was so powerful. So we had a countdown clock.
Right.
So anybody driving by would think, 17 days, what's that?
Right.
16 days, what's that? Right? And it started creating this whole buzz. And I'll tell you a story.
Please.
So, we're planning the store. Everything about launching the store for the $1 million weekend. And one of the store employees, we need to get our certificate of occupancy.
Correct.
Right? And, it's kind of like, I've said to you before, it's the loose ends. You can have your grand plan, but it's the loose ends that can strangle you.
Correct.
And certificate of occupancy to allow people into the building. We thought it was going to, no problem. It's going to be easy. Well, then there's, I think, 4 inspectors?
Correct.
I think 4
different.
inspectors. Different inspectors for different things.
And then one major one on top of them. So the head inspector.
Yeah.
So really it's 5.
5. And so one of the inspectors got sick. He was in the hospital, then he came home to his house recovering, and the city wouldn't let it slide, No, he has to sign off on that. And so it was a rush. How do we get this done? And it was 2 days before the soft launch where we have all of these influencers and political people and community leaders, and everybody was coming to this. We were so afraid, oh my God, what's going to happen? But it's those challenges that you have to overcome. You have to, nothing is going to go easy. You can't expect things to be easy. It's the challenges you overcome that pay the price for the success you experience. And yesterday's grand opening was, oh my God,
Yes.
incredible. We did open the store like a few days early, just again for the practice of it. And I was here, and one woman came in. And now imagine, normally they're used to a 8,000 square foot neighborhood store,
Right.
right? This is 15,000 square feet, brand new, beautifully lit and decorated. She walks in and she said, "What is this? What is this? I thought I was just going to pop in and get something, but I'm going to stay here a while."
Wow.
And what a authentic reaction to what the store owner was intending. It was simply awesome.
It was.
And when we did the grand opening yesterday, I happened to be up here where we can oversee the entire store. And it was like a Black Friday. You know, the line,
Oh my God.
oh my goodness.
To come in was a line.
Yeah,
While you sit in and check out, there's a line.
a huge
Now,
line.
how frustrating it is for a customer to spend 2 or 3 hours, and what do you think the customer's reaction, and what did we do to help that experience?
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
The line outside. Now, yesterday was cold. I mean, I think the high was 48.
Wow.
And I think at 7 o'clock in the morning, this doors open at 9. At 7 o'clock in the morning, the line is all ready, right? And I was very impressed by you. You got on the phone and you said, "We got to take care of these people. They're freezing outside. We got to take care of them." So you ordered, I think, 50 dozen donuts.
Correct.
And gallons of hot chocolate.
Right.
And just, fed the line, fed the people, hot chocolate, keep them warm. And I think that set the tone of caring for the customer, right? And so they come in, and you're absolutely right. This is a 15,000 square foot retail space. I don't know how long, but it didn't take very long for the checkout line. We have a checkout line, and then it exceeded that, and it literally followed one aisle all the way to the back of the store, along the back of the store, and started feeding back towards the front of the store. I mean, and people could have been upset. But I think those people with the caring for them outside the store, seeing how much the owners have invested in making the store beautiful, the customers felt taken care of.
Absolutely.
And there were no arguments. There was no, no. Okay, it's hard staying in line. But I think they understood. And it was a beautiful experience. The whole day was a great experience.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say it was truly a team effort.
Yes.
The retail army has over-delivered on success. And to me, the way I see it, it's a retail dream for a business owner to launch. And from day one, you imagine you as a business owner and you own a retail store, and day one, you go outside and there's 2,000 people waiting to come in.
Amazing.
I mean, how gratifying is that? And what if you're a retail store owner wondering, how do I get there?
Well, let me, if I could,
please,
let me share. That's such a critical point. Such a critical point you're raising. So, a regular store owner, he works his whole life building up the store, right? And he's doing everything. He's doing the merchandising. He's doing the purchasing. He's doing the promotions. Oh my God, I have to take care of these employees. And, it's like everything. And he's working. I mean, sometimes the job owns him than him owning the job. right?
Beast.
Yeah.
Taking over.
It's honestly true. And I got to give kudos to the owner here where he said, I want this to be something special. I want this to be something that St. Louis talks about. And you have the reputation. You've done this with your own stores. And I've seen the videos of the people lining up. I mean, I couldn't believe it the first. I thought, for a beauty store?
Right.
What? And it was amazing. So he reached out to you with your knowledge, experience, expertise in launching stores, and he trusted you. He said, I've made this incredible event or situation, and I want you to bring it home. And so you and I worked together on, again, what does it take? And in my history, for whatever it's been, success isn't happenstance. It's not, you can have some luck, good timing. But more importantly than timing is recognizing the opportunity when it's there. That's the most important. And so when we embarked on this $1 million weekend project, it isn't like, well, we're going to buy a lot of merchandise and we're going to put it up and we're going to do some social media ads and we're going to hope.
Right. Hope and pray.
It wasn't that.
Right.
So you and I worked together and we asked ourselves, okay, this is the assumption, $1 million weekend. How? What would it take? And we really thought deeply. You start segmenting by products and finishing the store and promotions and employees, and you start thinking of these different categories or how the components that go together. And then you start breaking those down. Well, employees, we have to screen for the right employees, we have to onboard them, we have to train them. I mean, I have no idea how many SKUs are out there. Product knowledge is incredible. You have to train for that. And also the attitude of serving the customer. So again, it's about the retail experience. And so we worked very hard planning, dissecting, if you will. What does that mean? How would we do that? And we came up with this checklist of, I don't know, I'm going to just say 125, 150 specific items. And then we assigned an individual to those items, to each item.
Not two.
Yeah, see, that was a good point, see? Some people, you know, when we were having the planning meeting and we were figuring all this out, somebody made the comment, well, you know, it's this person and maybe that person, they'll do it together. And I said, no. They can do it together, great teamwork. One person is accountable. That person has his name on it. No hiding in the shadows. No hiding in the shadows.
Right.
Right? And then we figured it out. We laid out a Gantt chart or, you know, okay, these items, when does it start? When does it end? We came up with we realized that we're going to hire employees, train the employees, and we're going to have a soft launch. Well, hold on. You can't have the soft launch before you hire the employees.
Correct.
Right? So that was an issue. We had to reschedule things.
We're like, hold up, we need to train.
Yeah.
That didn't line up. You're absolutely right. I think that's a huge component of it. Is what I liked about what we did is making sure that all the things that we needed to do was clearly described. The second component, what I loved is assigning one person
Yes.
So I knew who to hold accountable.
Yes.
And we're not afraid to do that.
Right.
To call you, hey, how are you doing with this?
Right.
And not in a negative way, and more like, hey, do you need help? What's
Right.
going on?
Right.
Being a resource to those staff members that are
Right.
really contributing towards your success.
Right.
And the last component is that I loved about what we did is the weekly checkups.
Yes.
And sometimes 2 times a week.
Yes.
Sometimes, hey, we need to get on this project tracker. Let's see, where are we?
Right.
And as we proceeded towards the grand opening, it was almost daily.
Yes.
You know, just to make sure everything was crafted. But then the end results. We came and we drove 8 o'clock in the morning, about 9 o'clock, seeing the results.
Right.
All of the hard work
Yes.
that the whole team has put, whether it's retail, Army Media, the inventory POS team, the strategic,
Yes.
the strategic planning team, the financial team, the merchandising team. I mean, we were out there pricing stuff,
Yes.
organizing, displaying, even to the point where we orchestrated the whole grand opening entrance where the customer comes in and
Right.
designed an experience for them. And even though they spent 2 or 3 hours with us, but they enjoyed it.
Yes.
And they left with a smile.
Yes.
And that's when, and I watch the owners, they're relaxed. They're relaxing.
Yeah.
And when do you go and open a retail store? On your grand opening, you're chill. But that was an indicator to me, and that's one thing you said to me, and I shared it with the team. I said, all that means, because they said, hey, the owners are relaxed. They're not doing much. I said, all that means we did our job.
Yes.
And I'm super proud of the results and excited to see, you know, all these business retail owners, or even if you have a product that are trying to get into retail, the retail university, working together, collaborating with the best and experts in each department, because we know business is many components.
Yes.
And you have to be decent at everything. I mean, you don't have to be excellent at everything,
Right.
but you also have to know.
Well, you also have to, sorry,
Yeah, please.
I apologize for interrupting. You have to know what the functions in the departments are, because it's very easy to look at a store and you say, well, I just have to do everything, right? And everything becomes a blur, right? And, you know, there's the saying, the devil is in the details, right? And as usual, we get it 180 degrees wrong, right? God is in the details, if you will,
Absolutely.
right? The devil is in ambiguity.
Wow.
It's in ambiguity. It's kind of the mental fog of not understanding how things work together and separating them by functions. And then I know that I need to do this, like you were saying. The employees need to be trained. Well, that's taking care of your human resources. The POS system, well, that's information management is your POS system. Training the employees to be customer service, well, that's part of your organizational culture, right? So by understanding in an abstract way these different components, when you encounter an issue or a challenge, you know what you're dealing with and how it affects other things, rather than just everything is an issue, I don't know where to start.
Right.
Right?
So just hide.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who has time to do everything
Yeah.
at once?
Right.
But it becomes so important as a retail store owner. It becomes so important to have a good delegating skill, I think.
Yes.
That's number one thing that I learned the hard way. I used to do everything.
Yeah. You
I
were
used to
the
have to
owner-doer.
The owner-doer. I have
Yeah.
to find a lot. Oh, why did you do this?
Oh.
Why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you let me know? And then what happened was everyone in my company became dependent
Yes.
on me.
So easy to happen,
Very
where they're afraid to take responsibility because, well, what is AJ thinking? I don't know what he's thinking. I don't want him to be angry, so I guess I should ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's no good.
Horrible.
That's no good.
And honestly, I felt, for years, I felt trapped. It was
Yeah.
like I bought my own jail.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and it wasn't even high paying in the beginning. I mean, like, come on.
I could make more money out working.
Absolutely. But I did realize the important component to all of, success I had in retail and promoting my brands and even launching other retailers is the ability to build a team.
Yes.
And to build a team
Critical.
that's willing to work with each other on one common mission.
So you bring up a great point, and I'm going to allow you to explain it because we've had this conversation before. So share with me your understanding of PPFs and
PPF.
why is that so important?
Absolutely. PPF actually transformed the way I think about my employees. And when I first got introduced to it, it just kind of flew over my head. PPF, and what it stands for is personal, professional, financial goals.
Right.
For your employees.
Exactly.
Now, as an owner, you do it for yourself. Of
Right.
course, we want to get our personal life in order. We want to have the yachts. We want to take the family to Disneyland 10 times a year. And we take care of ourselves. And even sometimes we'll go further and take care of one or two people that are important components into your business because you have to.
Right.
Right. You want to keep them around.
Right.
So you have no choice but to work towards helping them achieve those goals. But then I was like, what about the rest of the people in my company?
Exactly.
I mean, I got 86 employees besides the executives. So what about them? And when I started looking at how can I improve versus why are they not doing their job? Or why are they coming in late? And why can I find good employees? And then I realized, and I'll tell you, it was the way I was operating.
Yeah.
The people around me told me that you got no structure. And I took offense to it versus saying, hold on, do I have structure or not? Is it true what they were telling me? Because as they're exiting, whatever the reason, they quit. And I'll just say, hey, I'm interested. Why did you quit? You guys are not organized.
Yeah.
I got 5 different bosses telling me what to do. And each one has their own agenda.
Right.
So if you guys can't communicate, I can't deal with all the stress of 5 people.
Right.
And they leave.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm thinking it's them. So that's what PPF did for me.
I suck, therefore it's your fault.
Right, exactly. And to be honest, I hate to say it, but a lot of people fall in that trap.
Yeah.
Because they have some success. And maybe the people under them are not as successful.
Yeah.
So that what tends to happen from what my experience is, well, I did it, so I know what I'm doing, I'm always right. What do you have? But in actuality, everybody around you can offer something.
Right.
And I believe when I started applying, now it's not an easy thing to apply.
So describe first the theory, if you will, the concept of PPF alignment for employees.
Absolutely.
First describe that concept, and then how did you implement it? I'd like to hear a personal story of how you implemented that.
Okay, so when I got introduced to PPF, I started thinking about what does that team member want beyond just money.
Yes.
We all want money.
Right.
What else do they want? Mm-hmm. And what if we can be able to align our goals so that I can help you achieve your goal and you can help me grow my business?
Exactly.
And then I started asking. I sat down, I started from the top. The people that have been with me for years. And we would have simple we'd go to Starbucks. We wouldn't be in the store.
Right.
Took them out of the element.
Yep.
Sat at Starbucks.
Personal time.
First time ever.
Yeah. Wow.
I've ever sat down with my employees that are not at work.
Wow.
Because we're so busy working.
Yeah.
Meet me at work. Meet me at
I
the
probably would have quit.
Right. Exactly. So you probably would have quit as well as everyone else. So I would go to grab a coffee and simply say, hey, what is your dream? What do you like to do? Yeah. What is your personal goal? We'll start there. And I've had some answers like, I want to lose weight. Mm-hmm. Or I want to go on vacation with my family. That's a common one. I want to take my kids somewhere special.
Right.
And I realized these things are actually very easily achievable. The cost of it is not, nobody said I want a private jet.
Right.
And I said, because that's what I assumed that people would say. Because then how am I going to help you get your jet?
Yeah.
I got to get mine first.
Right.
But then I realized most people are not looking for major things. They want quality time with their family.
Yes.
They want to feel and look good and feel healthy.
Yep.
And enjoy the time that they're here at work.
Right.
So,
and they want, and sorry to interrupt,
Please.
but I'm sure as you had those conversations, especially in retail, right? Now, in retail, the good thing about retail is you can come, let's say, straight out of high school. You don't need a college degree, right? And you can start working the floor, learning how to take care of customers, but nobody wants to do that for 40 years.
Absolutely.
Right? And so, especially, I'm sure you had these conversations with your employees, and they wanted to know, what's my career path with you? How can I grow to become a team lead, to become an assistant manager, a store, maybe even help you launch a store? So I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's the career path, the professional branch of the PPF.
Absolutely.
Right.
And honestly, I want to share one more thing that was very helpful and transformative in how I communicate with my employees.
Right.
Because I've always spoke about my dreams, my goals.
Right.
But it was never big enough. And what I mean by that, no one saw themselves a part of my plan. Okay, that's your plan. That's great for you.
Yeah.
So then I started expanding my mission or my dream. And then when I communicate with anyone, like, for example, I want to onboard someone to come join my company. I'm not going to talk about, hey, I pay $15 an hour. That's the first thing, because that's usually what, I pay $18 an hour.
I hear where you're going.
So I started thinking, okay, what is my vision and what is my mission here? And I communicate that first. Well, my mission here, me personally, I have several different businesses, as you know. I have my own retail chain of beauty supply stores.
Right.
I also have my own beauty products that's launched in 500 retail stores. So I'll be a little bit more specific on which company.
Right.
But for example, my retail beauty supply store, since we're talking about retail, well, I want to have 1,000 retail stores throughout the country. And my mission is to develop the team that's going to help me expand.
Yes.
And I want you not just to start helping me sell, but also grow and develop your career. And who knows, maybe we can become partners. Maybe you can run a store. Maybe you can take that store to the next level yourself. But I know for sure my job is to make sure I relate that mission. And when I started speaking about I want to launch everywhere. I want to have a store in St. All over the country. People, okay, well, he's going to need people. He's going to need leadership. And that's the automatic thought that you're going to go through. Well, if you want to expand, maybe I can help him do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by having a large enough mission that includes everyone as well. And that was a powerful thing that now when I communicate, I don't talk about the small things. Whenever, especially when I'm recruiting, that's been I would say the last 12 months. 80% of my time is recruiting.
That should be a normal conversation you have with your employees, right? When you have the performance review, the annual performance review, of course it's about, did you show up on time?
Right.
But it's not about, hey, employee, what are you doing? No, it's about, hey, person, how are you progressing on your dream that is aligned with our business? So our business is the vehicle for them to achieve their dream.
Wow, how powerful is that?
Right? And they'll never leave. Why would they ever leave?
Right.
Because finally somebody cares about me and what I have in my heart for my life.
Right.
Finally, I'll stay here because they're helping me progress.
You're not going to get a better opportunity.
Right. And it doesn't have to be about career. And I know we're taking a lot of time on this PPF, but I really believe this concept of aligning an individual's personal, professional, financial goals with the company is the key to growing a company. Because you only grow through people. Yes, processes, strategy, fine. But in the end, it's about people, leveraging people.
Absolutely.
And so I'll give you another example. I've shared this with you of when I was at Wacom. PPF was very, very important as part of our culture. And there was a young woman, I would say she's late 20s, divorced, had a little child, and she worked in the marketing department. And I had the conversation with her. And for her dream, personal, she wanted to grow, of course, in marketing, but her personal goal, her son was, maybe, I think, 4 or 5. And she said, I want to take my son to Disneyland. And she's a single mother, so, life is hard. I want to take my son to Disneyland. And she was very sincere about that. And so she and we worked out a plan. Personal development, taking on different responsibilities, leading a project, right? Becoming a project manager, right? And I had the same conversation with her. And I said, once you achieve these goals, if you're serious, once you achieve these milestones, here's what I'll do. I will pay for your trip to Disneyland. You and your son, 1 week vacation in Disneyland. I'll pay for the hotel. I'll pay for the flight. I'll pay for the tickets.
Wow.
I'll pay for the food. I'll pay for, give you money, spending money.
Wow.
So for you, it's like all expenses paid. 1 week vacation, you and your son to Disneyland.
Wow.
It's an honor that I have the opportunity to help you achieve one of your life dreams. That's an honor.
Wow.
And I'm committed to doing that if you're committed to doing this with the company.
100%.
And it was it was a wonderful thing.
That's a really good,
She did, she went, everything worked. And, I love her to death. She was a great employee.
I love that
a great
connection.
person.
That's awesome. I just want to ask all the retailers, when is the last time you asked your retail employee about what they want?
Yeah.
And, I'll just answer for you, probably never. But if that's the case, it's okay. You're not the only one.
Right.
And things can change.
Right.
And as a retail owner, I know for sure that was a major shift on how I think and how everything started to progress.
Yes.
Within all my organizations, especially if you're a business owner that wants to expand and grow, and you're forward thinking, and you're like wondering, how do I do it? You have to give a shit about your people.
Yeah.
I'd say those words, but you have to care.
Yes.
And really care, not just, let me see what she needs. So I think the sincerity that you just displayed in front of us, whether it's from your side as a business owner or from the employee side, is what matters.
Right.
It has to be real. You actually have to care.
Yeah. Yeah. And, retail, I think we can close with this, is retail, your business, retail university. It provides the menu of areas for a retail business owner to improve upon. right? It isn't just about marketing. It isn't just about hiring employees. It isn't just about purchasing merchandise from a distributor. You've created the menu of options related to retailing, and you're providing people a means to have that mentored relationship so that the retail business owner can at least have some feeling, I'm not in this by myself.
Exactly.
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
Right? And I think that's a wonderful service that you're offering people.
Absolutely. It's been my passion.
Yeah.
And I've never known that. I've always loved it, but never like stopped to reflect that this is, until recently, about a year ago, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
And it's those feelings that, okay, this is my purpose. And it took me a while to discover it. Because I'm going through, your first 10
Yeah,
years.
your head's down, you're working so hard.
Yeah, so hard. And you think you're doing right, but then I discovered it, and the retail university has already transformed so many business owners' lives.
Yeah.
This weekend was an example.
Right.
I mean, the lines outside was incredible. It looked
Right.
like we dropped the new Jordans and Apple and everything all in one. So if you're interested, you're a business owner, you own a retail owner, or maybe just a brand owner that you have products. I mean, we got connections in a network in wholesale, distribution, marketing, advertising, getting your product out in retail, really scaling your brand. And all we're going to do is help you develop as a business owner, but also work with you. Because every business needs similar things, but a lot of them, if you sit the time and break it down and you show the business owner the things that needs to be improved, most likely they are willing to do it. And that's all I believe you need, is the will to learn and allow someone that's an expert that's done what you're trying to do to contribute towards your success. And I have no doubt you'll be on your way.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, it's a pleasure. Our first
friend.
podcast. I appreciate you for coming in.
You bet.
We're excited. Stay tuned for more.
Perfect.
Let's do it. Thank you so much.